another day alive, as they say in some parts of the Caribbean. Another day alive. It feels good right now to be a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles with what's going on in training camp. And very soon, very, very soon, we're about to open up practice with pads. We're going to see some hitting. We're going to see some contact. We're going to see some intensity build up more and more as the preseason against the Baltimore Ravens starts August 9th. I mean, it's right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. Football's back, and it's ready to freaking fire. And there has been really good stuff out of Eagles camp in regards to how this offense has been operating, some of the intensive plays that the defenders are making, with the defensive back room looking really, really great. Zach Bond and Devin White are getting good reps at linebacker here. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, albeit without pads, look really, really good. They look in shape. They look strong. Offense, like I said, Jalen Hurts is looking sharp. And the offensive line and the running backs and the receivers, we know they're ready to bring in the work. And the good thing about that is that everybody is seeming to be on the same page in terms of what time it is. It's time for us to come in here and turn up the juice, right? And there's been some question marks, though, in regards to some of the roster spots in Philadelphia. We know for the most part that this roster is pretty much intact in terms of who's going to be starting, who are the guys that are going to be featured on the offensive side of the ball, who are the guys that are going to get reps on the defensive side of the ball, especially the defensive line for the most part. The defensive back end, maybe some linebackers are going to be a little bit more of a question mark. However, we know for the most part that guys like Zach Bond, Devin White are going to get most of the reps. We know Darius Slay, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship at the moment is going to get most of the safety and corner reps. Isaiah Rodgers and Keely Ringo seem to be the two guys fighting for that cornerback 2 spot, while Mitchell and everybody else is kind of, fighting for cornerback 3, cornerback 2 spots, right? But the really interesting, position battle here is in regards to the right guard spot, and that's with Tyler Steen and Mekhi Becton, right? Those two have been almost neck and neck in terms of what's been going on in camp. Tyler Steen was the draft pick that we took last year in the 3rd round and showed a lot of promise because I thought coming out of college, he was a physically strong kid, versatile, played tackle at Alabama, had the ability to play guard. I liked his tape in terms of being able to be a run blocker. I think just because as a young, stronger player, that's mostly what NFL guys coming into the, at least offensive linemen, coming into the NFL are ready to do right off the bat. They're ready to run block. They can do that. Pass blocking is a little bit more of an art form, at least from what my eye tells me. I'm not an offensive lineman nor a football expert by any means, but that's what catches my eye. Being able to pass block and run block. Pass blocking is more of the art form. Run block is more, okay, let me get ahead of steam, get my footwork right, get my hand placement right, and just drive you into the ground, right? So not that I'm trying to make it more simplistic than what it is, but that's kind of what the gist of being offensive line run blocking scheme is. Get your hands on the guy and get good position, run his ass over, right? Tyler Steen could do that. So can Mekhi Becton, though. And we've seen tape of Mekhi Becton in practice, in training camp, being an absolute bull, on the move, run blocking. Hell, Brian Baldy, everyone talks about it. Baldy is the guy who says the best run blocker on the team right now might be Mekhi Becton. That is incredible. The 25-year-old swing tackle that was drafted by the New York Jets was signed by us in April and has not been disappointing in camp. He did have the incident where he threw up in practice, and he even, doesn't really like that it's a story, but he talked about how, I always throw up the first time we practice, and I always get back out there. So that's always been a thing for Mekhi Becton, and he doesn't want to make it much of a story. I get that. I respect that. My question is, though, does Mekhi Becton have the physical ability and stamina to be the starting right guard for the Philadelphia Eagles? That's my question. Because his career with the New York Jets was derailed not only by injuries, but by the fact that he's had a history of not being in shape. And that's been a big knock on a guy like Mekhi Becton. I have a friend who's a big-time New York Jet fan who loves the physical traits of Mekhi Becton. The guy's, 6'8", 370, moves like a gazelle. The guy's super strong. He's a freak of nature, the guy. Everybody in Philadelphia talks about how much of a freak of nature he is, how much he's willing to put in the work, how much he's willing to learn. However, his history tells you that he has not come into camp in shape. And maybe that's just due to his past injuries. Maybe that's just because it's the New York Jets, and who the hell wants to get ready for the New York Jets? Albeit aside, being a starting right guard for the Philadelphia Eagles, you need to be able to be in shape. You got to be able to move. The run blocking scheme here in Philadelphia with Jeff Stoutland as the run game coordinator. With Kellen Moore, you're going to have to be able to be on the move, be versatile, and get your ass in gear. Mekhi Becton has not had a history of being able to do that, which raises the question for me of whether or not he's even capable of being the starting guard for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then losing our swing tackle and swing guard virtually on the backup section with, Tyler Steen was penciled in as the starting guard. And if Mekhi Becton's going to get started reps, all of a sudden Tyler Steen is not getting the tackle reps that Mekhi Becton was getting. He's not getting the starting left guard and right guard reps that Mekhi Becton was getting. So this is going to be a very interesting question that we're going to break down in a little bit. But before I do that, I forgot to introduce myself. I got into such a damn, soliloquy here. This is the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. I am your host, Asif Badi, and like you, I am just a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not a reporter. I am not an insider. And if you want to help support the show, if you want to help a channel grow organically, please do us a favor here at the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. Hit the subscribe button below and hit the thumbs up and the bell icon so that you are notified whenever we post another episode regarding the Philadelphia Eagles so that you get more content regarding the birds in the midnight green. How you doing? Let's go back to Mekhi Becton. So like I said, his ability physically to go out and play all over the offensive line is to be noted. Jeff Stoutland, when we signed him, when camp started, said he was a fun guy to coach, loves the versatility, loves his willingness to be versatile and play anywhere along the offensive line to get the reps and get the work that's needed. And Philadelphia, with their offensive lineman, loves versatility because Jeff Stoutland loves versatility. Hell, even Landon Dickerson could play center and guard. Lane Johnson played tackle. I understand that. Jason Peters in his young career could have played guard. He could have played tackle, right? Jack Driscoll, another Eagle that we had in the past, played tackle, could play a little guard, right? So there has been a lot of linemen who have been versatile. Hell, even Matt Hennessy, some of the guys that we signed this offseason, Matt Hennessy was the guy that played for the Atlanta Falcons. He played center, but he also has some rep work at guard too, right? So Philadelphia and the organization here love versatile offensive linemen. Being able to play multiple positions is a valuable asset for us because injuries happen, and you got to be flexible in terms of who we can play, who we do not need to move out, and all that stuff, right? So Mekhi Becton has been getting reps at left guard, right guard, tackle, all that stuff. And Tyler Steen came in as a tackle guard hybrid type of player. And the question now begs is whether or not the guy can actually play guard. Now, I like Mekhi Becton as a true tackle. I think that's what he's built as. I'm not sure if he has the ability to pull and go on the move like that, although clips in camp tell me otherwise, because the guy gets off the ball. He's got a good first step to go and attack the first level of the defense that he sees, and he's really, really good at run blocking, like Brian Baldinger says. Moves as well as any offensive lineman that I've seen in camp thus far. And even with the New York Jets, it wasn't even his ability to play. He was always a talented ball player. And it was never the physical traits or the ability of Mekhi Becton that were an issue. It's the fact that he was always injured and the fact that he was not in shape. And I can argue that the fact that he was not in shape led to a lot of the injuries that he had. So they play hand in hand, okay? Which is why I believe Philadelphia is penciling in Tyler Steen as the starting guard, despite the fact that he's missed time with a little bit of an ankle injury, a mild ankle sprain that he's got. That's only going to take a few days maybe for him to get better, and then he's going to get back out on the field. And I really think they put in an investment in Tyler Steen, a draft pick. They want to see what this kid can do. Next to Lane Johnson and Cam Jurgens, it's going to be the future of the offensive line here, guys. Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, and Tyler Steen can be the future of this offensive line. Hell, even Trevor Keegan, the 5th-round draft pick that we got from Michigan this year, I think is a really valuable player. I like his skill set. Probably in a couple of years is going to be a guy that's going to get some reps as first-team guard on this offensive line, especially when Lane Johnson decides to hang him up and Tyler Steen moves to tackle. And let me put at guard, we're going to put Trevor Keegan over there. All of a sudden, you got an offensive line that could still be functional here, right? But that's neither here nor there. Mekhi Becton is the talk of training camp at the moment right now. Everybody loves his versatility. Everybody loves his pedigree. My issue is his ability to be in shape. That's my damn question. And it's a valid question to have because his track history tells you he has not been in shape to keep up with the season. And if you're expecting him to be your starting right guard, I don't know if that's the right approach for this guy this season. I really, really don't. I think you need to put Tyler Steen there. He needs to get the work. Getting live reps for Tyler Steen, I believe, is more important than putting in Mekhi Becton at guard at a position that he's not even naturally playing at. He's a natural tackle. If you're telling me you're shaping Mekhi Becton and Tyler Steen to be the future of the right side of this offensive line, now you're telling me something. Now you got me cooking here. I would sign Mekhi Becton right now if that were the damn case. Keep him on the Philadelphia Eagles. But right now he's on a 1-year deal. They're just trying to see what this kid can do. And if he can play, then you got a valuable piece here. But as of right now, to me, as much as there is hype around Mekhi Becton, this starting job for right guard belongs to Tyler Steen, and it should belong to Tyler Steen. And I know he had a rough go when we saw him in live reps as a right guard, but you know what? That was also last season. And last season, nobody looked good. Nobody on this team looked good except for a handful of guys. So am I willing to just say that's garbage tape? Not particularly, but I'm also going to give the kid the benefit of the doubt here. It's a young kid, first time playing guard in the National Football League. Let's just see what this kid can do if he gets more reps here. An off-season training at guard, an off-season with Jeff Stoutland, an off-season watching guys like Dickerson and Johnson and Mailata go in here and get the reps and seeing how they operate. It's a totally different ballgame right now for Tyler Steen. And Mekhi Becton, while we know his ability is great in terms of his physical traits, the mindset's got to be a little bit different in terms of taking care of his body. And that's really the biggest question mark. And I think the best way for him to last the whole year is not to put him in at right guard. It's to keep him as that swing guard and tackle, the guy that can play all over the offensive line whenever an injury occurs. If he gets starting reps, I know for damn sure he's most likely going to get hurt. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have to put Tyler Steen there anyway. So you might as well start the kid, start the young buck, and let Mekhi Becton get his system, get familiarized with the system, get his body right, keep his body fresh so that if we do sustain an injury, God forbid, down the road, he could step in and be ready. Because if there's one thing I know for sure, again, it's not the physical ability. It's the physical availability of Mekhi Becton that's the damn issue. I know the guy can play, and in camp he's shown he's versatile. Can he stay healthy? The answer thus far has been no. And that's why Tyler Steen is going to be the starting right guard. But that's just my opinion. I don't know what else to tell you about Mekhi Becton and whether or not this kid can play starting guard for us. But I do know one damn thing for sure. This offensive line, this coming year, as much as we're going to miss Jason Kelce, and I think we're going to miss him in the passing game, this run blocking offensive line is going to be an absolute wrecking ball. Whether you put Tyler Steen, whether you put Mekhi Becton, whether you put Trevor Keegan there, whoever you decide to put at right guard, one thing that every one of these guys are going to be able to do as a unit is run someone's ass over. And I don't know about you guys, but as a Philadelphia Eagle fan, I am damn excited to see what this offensive line can do. Hey! Thank you so much for watching the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. If you want to continue to support the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Also, check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Riding the Bench Eagles Pod. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're on there. Thank you so much for listening, and please join us next time here at the Riding the Bench Eagles Podcast.